Hello, good afternoon, students.
Afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon. How are you? You having your lunch already?
Apple.
Yes,
How was your lunch? Delicious?
really.
Okay, very good. All right, students. So you having your books already with you? Books of health and physical. All right. So today we are going to learn page number 61. Page 61. All right, page number 61. All right, so today our topic is rejection of dangerous and inappropriate sexual behaviors. So that means how you are going to reject in a situation you feel like in danger and inappropriate, not appropriate sexual behavior. Okay, so here risky situation, risky sexual situations. All right, so nowadays there are so many risky situations that may lead to inappropriate or harmful sexual behaviors. So nowadays, as you find in a society, there are many situations which is quite risky, which can lead toward sexual harmness and inappropriate sexual behavior. So the people with high risk are usually children who tend to trust people easily, and teenager who eagerly to learn new things and are inexperienced. So in the current society, in the current situation, most of the children, actually, especially the children and teenage people, they are more at risk. Usually they are more at risk because children, actually, they don't have much experience to understand the situation and all, and they are very easy trusting people. They trust other people very easily. So they are more at risk. Okay, and apart from that, also the teenagers. So teenager, the age of a teenager, actually they usually having the desire to learn many new things, to try many new things, and they are inexperienced. They don't have any sort of experience of harmful stuff what can happen to them. All right, so kids and teenagers have a high risk, then a high risk of dangerous sexual encounter or inappropriate sexual behavior. So usually kids, children, and teenagers, right? They are more likely at risk of danger. So they can face sexual encounter or inappropriate behavior in the society. So both of them, kids and teenagers, they always have to be conscious and they have to protect themselves. All right. So nowadays, there are so many risky situations that may lead to inappropriate or harmful sexual behavior. The people with risk are usually children who tend to trust people easily, right? usually the children, they are very easy to trust people, right? So they are at risk. Apart from that, teenagers who eager to learn new things and are inexperienced. So also the teenager people, because teenager, according to their age, they would like to experience new things, learn new things, and they don't have experience about inappropriate or dangerous situation, right? So kids and teenagers have a higher risk of danger, sexually encounter, or inappropriate sexual behavior. Okay, so here are some of the possible situation which can lead towards sexual harm. Okay, so now here there are the situation that could potentially means like possibly, right? Potentially, that means like possibly. So there are some of the situation which possibly cause sexual harm. Okay, so these are the 4 situation, right? If you find out, so that mean it can cause sexual harm. All right, so number 1, that one is strangers who act nice and try talk to you. Usually if the people, you don't know them, you are not known to them, they don't know you, and you also don't know them very well, and they are stranger, so they will try to act, to behave like nicely, and they would like to try to talk to you. So that kind of act can also potentially lead toward harm. Number 2, be pressured into activities by an older acquaintances, right? So acquaintances are those people like you know that those kind of people, you know them but not really well, like you don't know them 100%, you just know them like a little bit, right? So usually if those kind of people, you know them not really well, right? Or if they are older, right? So they can, if they are being pressurizing you, right? So being pressured into activity, if they pressurize you, they force you for some kind of activity or for some kind of stuff they would like you to do. So that means it can cause sexual harm. All right. So here, as you can see in the picture, right? You can see in the picture on your right side, you have to be careful when the stranger pressured you to go out. If the stranger, they would like to put pressure on you to go out with them, so that means it can harm you. So you always have to reject, you always have to avoid, and be careful about that. Number 3, adults or older acquaintances who hug or touch you inappropriately. Like if any adults, like older than you, the people who are adults who are older than you, or adults acquaintances. So like older acquaintances, they mean like if older people, like you know them but you don't really know them 100%, right? So if they would like to hug you, or they would like to touch you inappropriately, so that means they can cause sexual harm. So you always have to avoid those kind of situation. Now number 4, imitation of sexual senses from movies. Like normally you will find these days in the movies, they have many sort of situation, many sort of scenes which are too much explosive towards sexual scenes, right? So those, it can also cause sexual harm. All right, so these are the 4 possible situations which can cause sexual harm. Number 1 is strangers who act nice and try talk to you. Okay. Number 2, being pressured into activities by an older acquaintances. That means like the people who would like to put pressure on you to do activities So that means those kind of situation can be also harmful. Number 3, adults or older acquaintances who hug or touch you inappropriate. If any people like they are adults, they are older than you, or older people you don't know really well somebody, if they would like to hug or if they would like to touch you inappropriately, so that means it can cause sexual harm. Number 4 is imitation of sexual scenes from movies. So in the movies, if you find like a sexual scene, so it can also cause sexual harm. So these are the 4 important things, right? You have to take care of. Okay, now how to protect yourself from sexual assault, right? So these are the some of the potentially causes. Okay, these are 4 of them. These are some of the potentially causes. Now, how you can protect yourself? How would you protect yourself? So you should know how to protect yourself from sexual assault by doing is the following things. So these are some of the important tips what you have to adopt, and it can help you to protect yourself from the situation of sexual assault. All right. So number one is go straight home after school. So for example, if you supposed to go home after school by yourself, if your parents or your elders not gonna come to pick you up from school and you have to go by yourself, so you have to go straight after school. So when your school is finished, you no need to go here and there. You just have to go back to school straight. Okay. Number 2, do not walk in isolated area alone. That means you're not supposed to walk if you are going home from the school and you are going alone, right? Either with your friend of the school. So you're not supposed to walk in isolated area. Isolated area, that means like where there is no people while you're walking alone somewhere, right? So do not walk in isolated area. So go home with friends after school. Always you have to try to back home not alone. You always have to back home with your friends, so it can help to protect you from the situation. All right. Number 3. Tip number 3, that one is, if you see a stranger acting weird or walking toward you, quickly walk away immediately. Like if you find yourself in a situation when you find any stranger, like a person you don't know them, you don't know a person, and if he would like to acting like a weird, acting like something not normal, or if he or she walk towards you, right? So what you have to do, you have to walk away from that place quickly and immediately. You're not supposed to wait. Okay, you have to walk away quickly and immediately. Number 4 is avoid going home late. For example, if you are out of the home, so always back home on time. Don't go late home. Okay, always have to be on time, because if you if you go home late, right, so maybe you can find yourself in a situation of sexual harassment. Okay. Number 5, do not receive stuff from stranger or hang out with them. That means if any stranger would like to give you something, or if would like to offer you something, so don't accept. Okay, don't take anything from strangers. Or if they would or you're not supposed to hang out with them, you're not supposed to go here and there with them. Okay, so do not receive stuff from strangers or hang out with them. All right. Now, number 6, write down 191. So 191 is actually an emergency call number. It's an emergency call number, right? So write down 191, an emergency phone number, and the nearest police office, okay, and keep it handy wherever you go. So always keep the emergency phone number 191, either the nearest police station number, keep with yourself. So if you find yourself in a danger, so always contact the emergency call center or always contact the police station, police office. All right, now number 7, shout or scream as loud as possible when you're being sexual assault. So if you find yourself in a danger, right, if somebody would like to assault you sexually, right, so what you have to do, you have to shout and or scream, okay? So you have to shout loudly, scream loudly if you find in yourself in a situation of sexual harm. So maybe the people nearby, they can help you. All right. So number 8, when you have sexual problem, always ask your parents or teacher for advice. So if you find yourself in a situation of sexual problem, so don't hesitate to tell your parents or your teacher. Always discuss the situation with your parents and your teacher so they can help you to bring you out of that situation. All right, so these are some of the 8 important tips what you can do, so it can help you to avoid any sexual harm. All right, now I repeat. So number one is go home, go straight after home. When your school is finished, so go home straight, okay? Don't go here and there. Number 2, do not walk in isolated area alone. That means do not walk in area where there is no people alone. Always go home with friends after school, okay? Now, number 3, if you see a stranger acting weird or walk toward you, quickly walk away immediately. If you find yourself in a situation that any stranger is acting not normal, acting weird, or would try to walk toward you, so always run from that place or walk away immediately, instantly, okay? Number 4, avoid going home late. Always go home on time. Don't go home late wherever you are, okay? Number 5, do not receive stuff from strangers. All right, do not receive stuff from strangers or hang out with them. That means don't receive anything from strangers, okay? And don't go out with the strangers anywhere. Number 6, write down 191, an emergency phone number, and the nearest police office, and keep it handy wherever you go. So anywhere you go, always keep the emergency number 191, either nearest police office number, keep with yourself. So if you find yourself in any danger, so contact the police, right? Number 7, shout or scream as loud as possible when being sexually assaulted. So if you sexually assaulted, so always you have to scream. You have to scream and shout loudly so people nearby can help you, right? Number 8, when you have sexual problem, always ask your parents or teacher for advice. So if you find yourself in such kind of situation, don't hesitate to talk with your parents or your teacher. Always talk with your parents. They will help you to take you out of that situation. All right, students, you understand 8 of the important tips, what you have to do?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here now how to reject and avoid situation leading to inappropriate sexual behaviors. Okay. So here we're having some of the tips. Actually, it can help to avoid how you are going to avoid the situation. Okay. So whenever you encounter a situation that may lead you to inappropriate sexual behavior, you need to know how to reject and protect yourself from them. That means whenever, anytime, if you find a situation, if you find yourself in a situation that which is not appropriate, which is inappropriate sexual behavior, and you need to know, you also have to understand how to reject and protect yourself from them, from that kind of harmness. So these are the ways to avoid situation leading to sexual problems. So these are the following, four of them, four of the tips. It can help in the situation, right? You can avoid the sexual problem, right? Okay, so number one is how to reject or avoid situation leading to inappropriate behaviors. So number one is reject politely. Like, first of all, in first attempt, if you find yourself in such situation, right, so you have to reject, not accept. You have to reject and deny. Okay. Number two is tell the person the reasons why you would not like to do wrong things. So you can always deny, you can always reject, and tell the person, let the person know that why you are going to reject, okay, why you're rejecting, and why you would not like to do wrong things, like you're not supposed to do wrong things. Okay. Now, number three, do not trust the person who invites you. Always you have to be conscious. Okay, you're not supposed to trust every person who invites you for any activity or anything. So don't trust openly, don't trust easily. Okay. Number four, tell the person that you need your parents' permission first. Like, if any person force you for something or invite you for something, so what you have to do, you have to tell that person that you need your parents' permission. That means you need their, if they allowed you, okay, you need to take permission from your parents first, and you can avoid the situation. All right, students, so these are the four important tips actually which can help how to reject or avoid situation leading to inappropriate sexual behavior. Okay, the first one is reject politely. Second one is tell the person the reason why you would not like to do wrong things. Number three, do not trust the person who invites you. And number four, that tell the person that you need your parents' permission. So it can help you to avoid the situation which can lead towards sexual behaviors, inappropriate sexual behaviors. All right, now how to cope with sexual behavior problems. So how to cope with sexual behavior problems. Cope means like survive, how to survive sexual behavior problems. Okay, so it is very important for teenagers to understand and learn how to cope with sexual behaviors. So especially for kids also, and especially for teenagers, it is very important. They have to know that how to survive, and understand. They have to learn to survive the inappropriate sexual behaviors. So teenagers should have a good understanding on how to react appropriately towards sexual problems. So teenagers, they should to know, they should to learn how they have to react, okay, appropriately. That means in a right way, okay, towards sexual problems. If you experience any kind of sexual behavior problems, these are the things you should do. So these are the following things what you have to do, which can help you if you find yourself in a situation of sexual behavior problem. Number one, confide in your parents and ask them for the solution to the problem. So that means you always have to disclose, you always have to keep open yourself towards your parents, and you always have to ask them, take your parents' advice that about the situation, so they can help you to take you out of the situation which you are in. Number two, if it is a serious problem, for example, sexual harassment and rape, you must report to the police immediately. So especially for teenagers, right? If the problem is serious, that means like a problem of rape or either sexual harassment. So what you have to do immediately, right away, you have to go to the police station and you have to report to the police. All right. So here, when you encounter a sexual problem, ask your parents for some advice. So all the time, you always have to take advice from your parents. Ask your parents to help you report to the police. So if you find yourself in a serious problem, don't hesitate to discuss with your parents. Always ask your parents to help you to report to the police. So these are the governments and private organizations that provide assistance to further implementation of child rights. So here, as you can see in your books, also you can see on the screen. So these are some of the organizations. Okay, these are some of the organizations and government departments which can help. You can contact them, which can help for the protection of child rights, for the protection of children rights. Like the one is Child Protection Organization, the Center for the Protection of Children Rights Foundation, Association for the Promotion of the Status of Women, Foundation for Women, Pavina Foundation. So these are all different kind of foundations and private organizations and government organization which can help for the children rights, and they're having the contacts and all written on that. Okay, all right, so now we have some of the questions now. All right, so these are the what we already learned about the rejection of dangerous and inappropriate sexual behavior. So here we having some of the questions, okay, and then we having some of the answers here, some of the tips what we can do. So question number one, we have, while you walking home alone to the deserted places, there is a stranger walking straight toward you. For example, if you are walking back home, and there is a deserted place, there's isolated place, nobody is there, and if there have any stranger walking towards you straight, so what you have to do? So this is the situation. Question number one, according to the situation above, is this a situation that may lead to dangerous and inappropriate sexual behavior? So number one is yes, because it may lead to sexual assault. No, because it's normal to walk home alone. So which one is the correct answer? Who can answer me, students? If you find yourself in this situation while walking home alone through the deserted place, there is a stranger walking straight towards you. So according to this situation above, is this situation that may lead to dangerous and inappropriate sexual behavior? Yes or no? Who is going to answer?
Yes.
Yes, that is the correct answer. Such kind of situation, it is dangerous, right? And it's inappropriate sexual behavior. So yes, because it may lead to sexual assault. Okay, now, number 2, what would you do to avoid a similar situation? To not find yourself in this situation, what you would do, what you have to do. Number 1, go home right away after school. Drop by shopping mall after school. Do not walk through a deserted place. Be careful and don't trust a stranger. Hang out with a stranger. You can choose more than one. So which one is number 1? What you have to do? You have 5 different situations. What you have to do? Number 1, go home right away after school. Is it correct or not?
I think is um hmm, hmm.
You can choose more than one. Okay, you have 5 tips. You have to choose more than one.
I think it's go home right away after school.
Very good. That is the correct answer. Okay, what else you can do? Let me ask from another student. What else you have to do to avoid the similar situation? All right, who can answer?
Me.
Okay, what's your answer?
I think be careful and don't trust a stranger.
Very good. That is also correct. Be careful. Be careful and don't trust a stranger. That is correct. Okay, any else? Anyone else?
Me.
All right.
Meeting is do not walk toilet at deserted place.
Very good. That is the correct
Woo!
answer. Okay, so what you have to do, go home right away after school. Number 2, do not walk to a deserted place. Number 3, be careful and don't trust any stranger. Okay, so these are the correct ones. What to avoid a similar situation. Okay, one more question here. What would happen if you avoided the situation that had potentially risk of dangerous and inappropriate sexual behavior? We're having 5 different options. First one is go back home early, no risk of being tricked, danger to the body health, risk of sexual assault, be safe from sexual assault. What would happen if you avoided the situation that have potentially risk? Okay,
I think.
let me ask
Okay.
from Dew. What is your answer? Which one is correct? What would happen if you avoided the situation that have potential risk of dangerous and inappropriate sexual behaviors? Dew is quiet. Matum. All right. Anyone, students? Anyone have the answer? You can tell me.
Me.
Okay.
Okay.
No risk of being triggered.
Very good. No risk of being tricked. Okay. Anyone else? All right. What's your answer?
Answer it. Mm, be safe from sexual asset.
Very good. That is the correct answer. So, what would happen? There will be no risk of being tricked and be safe from sexual assault. All right. So, according to the situation, how will you reject if a stranger walks to you and invites you to hang out with them? What will be your answer? So the answer, it can be vary, it can be changed, okay? So just for example, I don't want to go, right? I don't want to go. I have to get home early, or my father is coming to meet me now. Okay, so this is according to the situation. How will you reject? If a stranger walks to you, so you can reject by telling, I don't want to go, I have to get home early, or my father is coming to meet me now. Okay, students, so now this is enough for today. See you again next week. Until next week, take care of yourself. See you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. 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 Bye.